Hello and welcome to the March 21st, 2024 meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund. We are meeting on Zoom, and the meeting is announced so that it has public access. Although anyone is certainly welcome to be able to come and observe the meeting live on Zoom anyway. But the Zoom access does not necessarily mean participation in the particular meeting. So why don't we kick this off right away? And the first agenda item is to accept the February updated notes. So I would move that we accept the February 29th leap year notes.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye. We got it. Okay. Meeting notes are accepted. Let's see. All right. So let's pick this off. Number 2 on our agenda here. Update on the estimates for the 2 bench foundations, Mitchell School and the post office. Let's see. So the Mitchell installation, thanks to Eric, we found a platform that looks like it'll work. There are 2 versions of it. One was the 72 by 24, which is a little bit too small for the bench that we use, but I called the company and they have one that is 86 by 36.
Oh, good.
Which works great. And the cost delivered to the site is $500.
Great.
So I've been to the Mitchell School a couple of days ago and met with the DPW to be able to ask about leveling the spot so that the new pad would sit properly. I've marked it all out with white flags, and because there is a dig safe flag back further up within this garden area that I called dig safe, and they will come out and survey it, make sure that there's nothing going to be in the way of the areas that I mapped out with the white flags, and then let us know the result, and they will mark where their lines are. So we should have they are required to do that within 3 business days. So by Monday, we should have the feedback on that to make sure that everything's okay, all good with that. One of the things we did at the same time was to map out, because there is the continuous overlay of mulch has continued to rise the ground level, that we would need to dig out some of the mulch to be able to flatten it so that the pad would sit properly. To do that means that you've got berms on the sides that are going to be higher than where the level of the pad will be. So when we looked at it, we said we basically use a 6x6 because there's already a pressure treated post that runs wood 6x6 that runs right across the front of this garden area, that we would use 6x6 pressure treated and run it up the sides and across the back to act as the retaining, basically.
A frame for it.
Yeah, the frame for it, and then the pad would sit right in the middle of that. And when I mapped it out for the white flags, I mapped it out including the extra 6 inches on left, right, and back to account for it. So we should get a good hopefully get a good evaluation from Eversource in terms of the location, and hopefully it's good. But we have a way of being able to install the pad, do it cost effectively. I have emailed the sponsor because he was waiting for that. He travels a lot, so I haven't heard back from him yet, but he's got the complete cost of it now, and basically he just needs to get back to me and let me know about how he wants to get the funding into the fund. I also let him know that it's about 8 to 10 weeks to be able to receive it. So I want to make sure that, because this is basically a memorial to the people, or I should say a celebration of the life of the people who started the Jog Your Memory fundraiser that starts and finishes at Mitchell School. And this bench is perfectly positioned to, basically be there for, for that event. So I wanted to make sure I knew what the, the date of the event was so that we can make sure this is all completely installed and in place. I'm hoping a month before the race actually runs. So that's where we're at with that one. Let's see. We were looking at an update on the posting of the open positions for the NCRTF. What we were waiting for is basically to see if all of us were going to renew. And I guess my question is, has everybody sent back their surveys? And JP, do you have the surveys?
I didn't get a survey.
Oh, you don't need one, Eric,
Oh,
because
yeah, that's right.
because you came in.
I'm not graduating this year.
That's right. You're right.
I was going to say they only went to the certain people whose terms were up.
That's
And
right.
I don't actually get them. Miles gets them. So
Okay.
Miles has not come knocking. So I'm assuming either they were returned or we're not on the hunt for people. I know we're still on the hunt for a couple open
Yep.
positions, but
That's right.
I am renewing, but I haven't been neglecting the questionnaire. I'll make sure I get it in tonight.
That'd be
okay.
great. That'd be great because I think they do want it back like shortly. I
Mhm.
think by the end of the month anyway, but that's great. All right, so and Carol, I think you said you sent your survey back, right?
Yeah, for what?
For renewing?
Renewing, yes.
Yes. So basically, we're back in business. That's great. So basically based on that, we can look at what we want to do as far as being able to help promote getting additional members onto the committee and where we want to do that. And so I would say that basically at our next meeting, we'll bring that up as a topic and figure out something specific that we can do to be able to start to promote those positions. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah, we'll brainstorm in the meantime.
Yeah. All righty. The update on, let's see, on the Amity Path installation. I talked a little bit about it, but basically we've submitted the granite stone bench proposal to the select board. So they have it, they're putting it on to the April 16th agenda. And the only thing that Miles needs from us, or from, I'll contact the sponsor, is just the cost of it. And so that they can know what the amount of the gift is that's going to the town. But the whole thing is basically in process, and and I'll go to the meeting on the 16th and present it to the select board. So that's basically where we're at. I met with the two people who are basically the crafts people who are building this bench, and they were wonderful people. The gentleman whose company it is that does all the carving and so on is one of the oldest granite producers in Vermont, and they've worked on all kinds of projects. And I was telling JP that they're in the process of carving the Hot Shot Memorial for the firefighters that died in the fires in California.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
So, and because of course it's so large, and it was funny because in the town contracted them, they said, so we'll set the stones up between the courthouse and this other building, and then you can just carve it in place, right? And he goes, I don't think you want me to carve it in place. It's a very noisy process. He goes, oh yeah, they wouldn't like that in the courthouse.
So what do they source the granite up there and then do the work and then ship it? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, or in some of them, because if the pieces are so big that they can only be, that's better to only move them short distances, that they will literally just come to the site and do the work.
Hmm.
And so they actually took the granite over to another, I forget, one of the towns near it. And he was telling me that he literally lays on his belly and carves this thing because it's like, it's thick stone, right? And you can't like stand over it. You'd have to just sort of lie on top of it and use these chiseling tools to be able to chisel all the names into the stone and do the finish and all that kind of thing. So it's quite a process.
Wow.
This is for the Amity Path bench.
Yeah, the Amity Path bench does not require this kind of works. It has,
Okay.
it's been it has been it's being carved, but it will have a message on the front that says "You are the gift," and then on the top, when the sponsor's mother passes away, because this is dedicated to her, and she loves to walk the Amity Path, and it's been one of her favorite things to do for years. And now because of her age, that she's now having trouble being able to walk there.
What is her name?
So I'm trying to think of her mother's name. I'll have to pull that up because I
Okay.
deal with the daughter and the craftsmen who are working on it. But she anyway, so she loves being out in that environment and the animals and the birds and all that. And so she thought, what a great thing to have, the family connection to the granite and the bench be something that she knows will be shared with, for generations at the Amity Path. So that's where we're at with that. So basically, April 16th is when it'll go before the select board for approval. And then I guess they technically accept it, their decision at the next meeting. And from there, it'll be the timing of when these craftsmen can, finish the stone. So, let's see, next. Update on the submission of the Needham Heights banners. Honestly, I've been tied up with these 3 benches and haven't had time to pull it together. So, so that's about as simple as it gets. But tune in next week. And because the thing I've been focusing on getting done, which I will have done and submitted by tomorrow, is the From Needham to the World content for Amy to be able to put up the new pages on our webpage, which will have the 5 previous. It'll have all 6 of them. Time flies, huh? I was going back to say we've already got 6 done. This is just amazing, right? But it'll have the 5 previous plus the current one, and what I've done is given them the image of the mural itself for each one. Then I've taken the bio for each one of them and given her the full written bio, and then next to that the link that ties to the QR code. So anybody who visits is going to be able to to read the whole story, see the mural, and be able to get the enjoyment of being able to watch the video on the page. So, but as you can imagine, it takes a little time to put this together. So, but by tomorrow, I'm on a mission to be able to get it submitted because my deadline was to get this is Friday. So even from Vermont, I will finish this.
From Friday? Okay.
Especially if you're snowed in.
Yes, that's true. Let's see. Now, Eric, we take the lead on the Charles River cleanup. And Jessica, chime in.
Yeah. It was a mini success, I guess is the best way to describe it. Shy of short of getting, the volunteers that we were hoping for out of the high school. I think that what do we get? 600 pounds of trash? The
Yes.
three of us,
Is that what
plus
the
a little
final
bit of
count
help
was?
from the kiddos on the front end. But I would call that a successful first shot at it. I think that with a little more pre-planning next year and a little bit of changes, because now we know what it's like and we can learn from a couple things that we did, and I think we can make that a pretty good event next year. My wife is already like telling me like, you guys got to let me know. I'll spread the word. I'll get all my friends. So I think that it may be a mix of people next year, but either way, it was a success this year. And I actually have been thanked by a couple people who found out that we did this.
Nice.
Thanking us for, donating our time and making the effort to go clean that up. So I think we should try to spread the word that it happened and then figure out how to, grow it next year.
Yeah. Jessica?
Yeah, no, I agree. And next year might be easier because who knows how many years had passed before we did it this time. So
Right.
That's right. Probably have less car
There was some
park.
old stuff there.
yeah, I mean,
Less
yeah, there were some beer cans with labels I hadn't seen. I mean, I don't
It's like
drink
the
much beer, but
80s.
yeah, but
And I thought one of the real highlights of it too was the fact that Sergio, who was the from the sheriff's office, who was working the police detail, was absolutely wonderful. And he
yeah,
was helping pick up, trash in different places, but constantly out there watching over us and making sure he stopped the traffic and slowing the cars down and doing all that. He was great. But I thought the greatest thing was that after we did this, that he said, I'm going to look for this detail next year. Saying
Yeah.
if they put it out, and if one of the Needham guys doesn't take it and they put it out on the, roster there, that he said, would it be all right if my wife and kids came to do this? Because I'd love to bring them along and have them do this. And it was like, absolutely. So,
That's cute.
so it was, and we were also, it was also fantastic that the weather was great.
Yeah.
yeah, we lucked out.
Yeah. But we also caught it, doing it early was really awesome. I mean, it may be pretty cold right now, but you know, if the spring looks like it's coming early, responding early is the way to go, because
Yeah.
we basically could get into the edges of the woods and do whatever we need to do, and there were no bugs, and there was, everything was easy to see, and
Yep.
it really worked out as great timing.
I think we start, right after New Year's, January 1, get it planned, January, February, and then do it in March like we did this year.
Yeah, that sounds
I think that'll be good.
excellent. Well, make a note in your calendar and we'll kick it off.
Will do.
Because you are the man. And great sandwiches, by the way.
Yeah, they were.
It's Gabriella really enjoyed her sandwich.
Good.
I know Jessica has a few too, so it was good.
I came home and my kids ate the rest of them, so
Yeah, I'm
it did
sure.
not go to waste.
Well, thank you for that. That was great because, donating the sandwiches was a very nice thing. It
Wow,
wasn't necessary, but it was a very, very nice thing.
And your kids are a hoot.
Yeah.
they
They really
are.
are. They were so cute. They
Yeah.
got so excited, especially when we started finding pieces of cars. That was that was sort of the
That's
highlight
right.
of the morning, I think.
So
They're like,
my daughter went into Mitchell on Monday morning, and like they do like sharing, and like she got up and like shared that like we went out over the weekend and picked up trash and cleaned up and did this, and she was talking about how we were protecting the environment and the water and this. So
This is
That's
great.
great.
it sunk in a little bit, if not more. So
That's great.
That's awesome.
What number are we on now?
We are up to number 6, on to number 7.
Number 7, I thought, yeah.
Just an update on the Denny's Zerngabel, and the coverage and the unveiling and all that stuff. Basically it was, it was a small crowd, but it was fun. I mean, we had Amy Wyeth, descendant of Denny's to be able to speak.
Are they living in Needham now still?
Some of the family has.
Westwood?
I don't think I think in Westwood now is what you
Okay.
said. Yeah.
Because they used to go to the Congregational Church.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but she, she talked a little bit, and we had Wayne from Speed Pro, who has been, just a terrific supporter of this program. And his company just produces really beautiful work. I mean, the colors and the detail and the materials that we're able to use just work out tremendously. So, Speed Pro has just been a good partner for a number of years, even through two different owners for the Revitalization Trust Fund. And they were the ones who actually helped us do the first box wrap in Needham. So, yeah, it's a good company, and Speed Pro's marketing department, the corporate one, put in a big effort to be able to have the news media actually cover it in a variety of different places. And I was called up by WGBH, and they did a little audio interview over the phone, which they turned into something that was read over GBH during one of the radio shows, where they actually talked about it in two different spots.
Hmm.
So that was
Yeah,
really cool.
that's good. Yeah.
And of course, the Needham channel just did a fantastic job. I mean,
That was nice.
they not only covered it for a as a news story, but of course they helped put together the Gloria Grice, Amy Wyeth video that told the story behind the project. So, we really had some some great PR from it, and I think a lot of people also had a lot of fun putting it together. So it was great. And so on that note, Jessica, do we have some new choices to come up with, and what category they're in, and
We
all that?
do.
We do have to get
Yes.
started again.
Yes. Yeah, I did find someone. It gets a little harder each time, because every time we use a person and we use an area of interest, there are fewer of them to choose from. But the last couple have been pretty historic in nature, which is great. But I was hoping to find something a little more contemporary this time, and of course different from all the other things we've done. So I did a little more digging this time, and I started reading about this really interesting woman named Allison Jones, who was born and raised in Needham, graduated from Needham High School, went out to California to go to college, and became a Hollywood casting director.
Wow.
And she has been the casting director on an unbelievable list of comedies, both in TV and movies.
Hmm.
Her first casting director job was for Family Ties. I don't know, Eric might not remember it. He might be
I
too
remember
young.
it.
I think the rest of us remember Family Ties. She was, as a youngin', she was the casting director for Family Ties. Her most recent project was she was the casting director for the Barbie movie, which obviously was a huge smash.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's this list in between that's unbelievable. She was the casting director for The Office. I mean, she casted something like 188 episodes of The Office by herself.
Wow.
Arrested Development, Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Good Place, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Veep. I mean, these are all great
Holy
TV
cow.
comedies. Also in the movies, she was a casting director for Bridesmaids, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Booksmart, Lady Bird, and most recently Barbie. So, and others too. Those are just some that I picked out of the list. So she's really an interesting person to read about. There were a number of profiles. So there was some good information about her. The New Yorker did a profile of her, Hollywood Reporter, a bunch of other sort of entertainment-oriented publications. So I thought she would be a good choice. Number one, she was born and raised in Needham and graduated from Needham High School, which is, I think, extra points. I mean, everyone we've profiled has had a strong connection to Needham, but that's about as strong as it gets, I think.
Yeah.
It's different for sure. I think the path from Needham to Hollywood is not necessarily clear to people or something they often think of. So it's really interesting in that way. I think visually it can be really interesting, assuming we can use images from some of these TV shows and movies. I think it will, catch people's attention.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think, I can tell you, having had a theater kid at Needham High School, there's a pretty large contingent of kids in Needham who would love to be part of the entertainment industry, part of show business. So, if they see this, and to the extent that we're trying to sort of inspire our young people to do interesting things, this might really catch their interest as something unusual that a Needham High School graduate has done. So will she will she interrupt her busy schedule to fly here and be at the unveiling? Unlikely. She might still have relatives here. She was one of 6 siblings, so I'm guessing there are still some siblings and maybe nieces and nephews around, and maybe she'll come. Who knows? But otherwise, I just think it's a great choice. I think it could be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
that's great.
Yeah. So I wrote up
I'm
a
totally
first.
psyched about it. I can't
Yeah.
wait. So
Yeah.
Good choice.
I wrote up a brief, like a draft of the profile, which I can circulate to everyone after the meeting.
That'd be great.
I'm still kind of working on it. When I write, I kind of go back to it like 6 times because I just want to make sure it's right.
totally
Oh, and I
understand.
didn't mention she's been nominated for 14 Emmys, and she won 3. One for a show called Freaks and Geeks, which wasn't
I
very
know.
well known, but has kind of a
Remember
cult
that, yeah.
following.
Oh, I know about it, yeah.
She discovered all those young actors, by the way. I mean, she's very modest. When you read the interview, she's, oh, I didn't discover them. I just saw their talent or whatever. But James Franco and Linda Cardellini. I mean, there's a whole bunch of sort of young actors where that was their first job, and she found them basically. So she won an Emmy for casting Freaks and Geeks, and she won 2 Emmys for casting Veep, which is a very funny show on HBO starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And then on the Oscar side, they don't have a category for casting, so she wasn't up for anything there. But she did win 3 Emmys and was nominated for 14. So that's a pretty cool fact too. So
That is amazing.
I think it'll be a fun one. Yeah.
It's a great choice.
And assuming the visuals are public domain, which I'm assuming they are, we can have some fun with the visuals too, with some of those movies and TV shows, I think. So
Yeah, I think, do you think we can find a way to reach out to her?
yeah, that's my next task, is to try to do that. I'm not sure how, but I'll figure it out. So,
Sounds great.
and I did find an image of her accepting one of her Emmy awards, so that could be kind of a cool image too. And one of her sitting on one of the desks on the set at the office, so you can see all the Dunder Mifflin, computer screens in the background and stuff. I saw a picture of her kind of clowning around with Steve Carell from The Office. So I think it'll be a good one.
Oh, that's great. That's
So,
brilliant.
Hopefully she'll be cool with it, and hopefully she'll read the profile and confirm that everything in there is true. But I do have a lot of good sources, I think. She's been written about quite a bit, and is very well regarded in Hollywood. It's obvious when you read these articles that people in the business really love her. So
Yeah, well, I'm sure if she's been able to, be basically chosen to be able to do the casting directing for so many different movies, that she must be great to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, they don't need to be working with people that irritate them.
Yeah, that's true.
It's, so it's I think so it follows completely that, when you heard her talk about it, that she's quite modest about what she, has accomplished, or how she's discovered people.
Mm-hmm.
And James Franco is actually, he's a guy that my wife has always liked as an actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She'll be thrilled to think that he got his start.
Yeah. I mean, Freaks and Geeks has become a real cult favorite. It was only on for a year, and it wasn't much of a commercial success, I guess, but it really became a cult favorite. I mean, people love it, so that's kind of a cool little aspect of it too.
All righty then. Well, this is awesome. Well, we'll get started on it and start pulling this stuff together. And it would be amazing if she decided to take a trip back out here
Mm-hmm.
to be here for it. But even if we might even get her to see if she would do a little video for us, just
Yeah.
just to be able to tie the whole thing together too, because I'm sure we can find we basically need to put together some kind of video that gives you a perspective on the kinds of things that she's done. But maybe she actually has something that, I mean, with all the awards she's gotten and so on, odds are that somebody has done sort of an overview
there.
profile of her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be, if you can reach out to her and see if any of that stuff is available, that would be just totally awesome, especially if she.
What's her name again?
Her name is
Allison
Allison
Jones.
Jones.
Allison Jones.
Yeah. Which is kind of unfortunate that her last name is so common, because I was thinking like maybe I can find, if anyone else is, any of her family members are still local, but Jones is kind of doesn't make it easy to track down the right Jones, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, that's great. Well, that's totally exciting.
Yeah, I
So,
think it'll be good.
yeah. All right. Well, next is update on the postmaster, the bench, potentially as a celebration bench for the postman that had basically like more than 30-year career in Needham and that was very beloved. And I have spoken to the post office about it. They are out checking to see about the possibility of you would have to get an approval to do a bench at the post office, just like we did for the previous one. So he's working on that, and basically I'll follow up with him probably in the next week or so and just ask him what the progress is, if he's been able to talk to the big postmaster in the sky and ask him about getting an approval for it. So that's the update on that one. Burke Wickstrom, he was the clock smith, basically, because he was a clockmaker and as a profession for basically most of his life, who passed away within this last year from Three Crown Jewelers. And basically where it is now is that the family has approved the celebration plaque. We already have permission from Park and Rec to be able to replace the remaining benches that are stone and, or I should say, concrete and wood slab benches. So when we get this thing starting to come together, as far as the fundraising goes, I'm also going to be sending off a note to Park and Rec to inform them, of course, of the fact that we have another bench in progress, and to show them the images of it. But we just got the plaque approved by the family, and so we'll now proceed to do that. Probably during next week, I'll send off the note to Park and Recreation just to give them this is what it'll look like, and this is the update. But one of the things that's also great is that Secondhand Rose and all the owners of Secondhand Rose have volunteered to be able to run the fundraising. So they're actually have already started preparing a letter that they're going to send out to all the different merchants and people around that they know have really enjoyed Bert and his wife for all these years, and rally people to be able to donate to it. And I've already given them the links and the specific wording. So if they write checks, this is how to fill it out, and this is where it goes. And if they want to be able to donate online, make sure they put in the memo section that it's for Bert's Bench. So they are in the process of just doing the final touches on that letter and the circulation, and they're going to basically put it out there and rally to be able to get it funded. So that's where we're at with that. It's exciting, and the family, his wife and his son are just incredibly excited about this. They just love the fact that it's and the plaque itself has this because I'll circulate this to you now that they've approved it, that it has a clock. He basically right in the raised relief of the plaque. So and the clock that they used is one that his son Toby, when I said, if you want to be able to put a clock on the plaque, can you give me an example of what it was? And so he walks over to this clock and he goes, this is like a classic kind of thing that my dad would work on all the time. And so he took a photograph of it. I sent that photograph off to Dumore, and Dumore basically took that image and reproduced it as a raised relief on the plaque. So in a much simplified form, but it's, you know, it's, but it's very cool. So it's another project that is in progress, and hopefully, as soon as basically they can rally the funding for it, that it can be installed.
So what are these people's name that are,
Bert Wilkstrom,
will?
Wickstrom,
that-
Wickstrom.
And the one that you're going to, the Second Town Rose type of thing?
Yeah, those are the people who are going to rally to support the funding.
Okay, all right.
All right, and let's see. Basically, I'm just, it's an update on the delivery of Frank Malzone's profile. I've got the profile right now, and then next week I'll be taking it over to the History Center to be able to drop it off, and it'll go into the archive with the rest of them. So it'll only be in safekeeping there. I already updated you about the being able to get the profile images over to Amy. And let's see. JP, have you heard anything on the actual delivery of the funding from you? You had said that you were going to go and talk to
I have to get with Michelle. You're the second one that is, and I'm either they're just slow or I'm not putting something in right. So I put all the requests in the way that Amy kind of like I put the account number, I make everything into a packet and then I mail it in. But it's the second one that's mentioned it. So I'm gonna go talk to her in tomorrow or Monday and make sure that I'm doing it properly so that it's going through the proper channels. Because I'm supposed to put the account number on it. There's like some stuff on my end that I have to do. So, but I haven't got anything like hate mail back. But at my old job, when I didn't do something right, I get hate mail of like, I'm joking. It was always nice, but it was always like, you need to do this, 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 and this. And
yeah. Well, that's great though. Thank you for looking into that, because I guess that's the final piece is the town accepting the funds into the
yeah,
fund. And so that's great. And one of the things I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks actually is complete the acceptance paperwork for the new award that we got for this year, so that JPU can work on another one to be able to go chase the funds.
well, once I get them down, I think I'll be good. So,
well, we'll try to give you as much practice as possible.
okay, absolutely, that's the best way.
So that's great. And by the way, that on the profile, because the latest grant was actually to help support the upcoming profile, which is now up, that the NCAC, MCC are both mentioned and in place on the new profile, as well as on our website. So, anytime that they've been able to support one of our programs, we're making sure that they that not only are acknowledged on the website, but also acknowledged on the actual profile itself, which is great. On this particular profile, we also, of course, acknowledge the Needham channel, and the History Museum and Center, because they did tremendous work putting all this together with the Needham channel to be able to create these videos, and just did a fantastic job. So,
Paul, can you just send me a quick summary of that via email so I can try to post it on our Facebook page, and I can try to seek them out, and maybe they can join us and follow our page, and we can follow them, and I can
you're
add
talking
that.
about the Needham channel, or which
The Needham channel and the Historical Society, and
yeah.
Maybe I can try to post the video that they that we just got for the last one, and I just any more material I can, you can give me for the file that I can post.
Okay.
You can share it to that Dropbox folder that you and I share or whatever.
Okay. All righty. And that's basically it for today, unless you have anything else from anyone else. And now basically we need the date of the next meeting.
Next meeting, April, Thursdays, 18th of the 25th.
So the 18th is April vacation week, and we're actually going to visit our daughter in London, which should be really fun. So I can't do that week.
I'm away that
Okay,
week
and,
also.
I'm away that week also.
I could do 25.
I
All
could
right.
do 25 also.
25, did that work?
Let me just check. And by the way, just for interest's sake, I just picked up my phone and on the top of it's, we have another request for another bench. So,
There we
Oh,
go.
geez.
so, let's see, let's check the 25th just to be sure. Yep, that works. Yeah, April 25th.
All right.
All righty then.
All right. So, oh boy, that sun.
Yeah. Well, thank you all.
What does
Um,
it say? 5:57?
5:57, yes. So we're right on time. Perfect.
Right on
Yes.
time for you to go get into the traffic going on
Yes,
128
that's
North.
exactly right. My wife is definitely, she was loading the car while I was here. So,
With food too?
I hope so, because I'm going to be pretty hungry by the time we get there.
Yeah.
But thank you all for all the great contributions you made to be able to, throughout this whole month, to be able to, rally to pick up trash, to, get the profiles done and help with, the bench foundations and all those kinds of things. And JP for helping track down, the grant information and the support that you give with that it's really very,
Okay.
very appreciated. So thank you all. And Carol, as always, for
Yeah.
keeping the notes and keeping us on track. So thanks so much. Would now propose we close the meeting for March 25th, 2024 of the Revitalization Trust Fund. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I
It's official. We're closed,
Very
and
good.
thank you, JP.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Good night,
See you.
everyone.
Bye.
Good
Thanks.
weekend.